What's up everyone, it's Shaker here at Film Gob and it's time for a review of Logan, which I managed to see a few days ago. And I was trying to do a review for you guys Thursday, almost half the day, but I had some kind of mental block and I was thinking there was so much I had on my mind about this movie. Good things, bad things, that the words just weren't coming out the way I wanted. So I tried, take after take after take, and it didn't work. So here I am, trying it one more time. And yeah, I went on Wednesday to watch Logan at the Glasgow IMAX cinema, and I've been there before for movies like Avatar, The Dark Knight, Mad Max Fury Road, all amazing experiences. And with Logan, I would say it's not a movie you must see in IMAX, but it was decent. It was a good experience overall. And when the movie ended, and the movie does end, right, there's no post-credit scene, I got up, I was making my way out, and the staff were handing out these. It's really nice Logan poster. I wasn't expecting it, a nice surprise, and up close as well. It's even better looking at it. And yeah, you've probably seen it on the social media. So now I will go into spoilers in this video, so if you've not seen the movie, save this video for later, come back, watch it another time. And for anyone who doesn't care about spoilers, carry on watching. Logan is the most violent, brutal, bloody comic book movie you're ever going to see. And the first half of the movie I was thinking, this is so good, this is going to be a 5 out of 5. I was really enjoying it. And then the second half, there's many kind of detours that the plot takes, and introduce these certain characters, and it kind of slows things down quite a bit. And at the same time I was thinking, is this really the best use of time and the best end for these characters? Considering we're not going to get Hugh Jackman anymore, we're not going to get Patrick Stewart anymore, because they both die in the movie. It's kind of bold what they did, how these characters stories ended in the X-Men franchise. So that's what I'm kind of unsure about, whether I like it or not. But then again, who am I? So just from a kind of personal, selfish point of view, I'm thinking, did I really want to see these characters go out this way? It's very sad, it's almost depressing at times to see these characters in the way they are after all these years of kind of watching them. And so it's 50-50. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. It's like, even though I know the story is good and it's well written, well directed, and it's very bold in the way, the direction they've gone, but from a selfish kind of point of view, I'm thinking, I wanted more. It's like shocking in a way, especially with Professor X's death. It's kind of reminds me a lot of Terminator 2. There's a mission, they need to get they need to get to a certain point, but they're taking detours, and the bad guys are catching up with them, and this and that. So it's I got a lot of Terminator vibes. Even the music and one of the characters in the movie kind of reminded me of Terminator 2. So I'll go over the scenes that I really loved. The opening scene, amazing. He wakes up from his sleep inside his limousine. He comes outside. You got these Mexican guys messing about with his car, and they shoot him. He gets up. He rips them apart, trying to protect his limousine at the same time, and because he needs it for his job. And then you've got the first action scene where you saw it in the trailer, where Pierce, played by Boyd Holbrook, and he's actually quite good. Boyd Holbrook, he's the first time I'm seeing him, comes across a very kind of dickish but menacing kind of character, but I would have liked to see more of him, but I'll get to that later. So him and his men, they come to get X-23, who's now found our way to Logan and Professor X's compound, kind of abandoned compound, private property. They try to escape. Logan, Charles, Laura, They try to escape in the limousine. They try to ram through the fence. The fence gets tangled up in under the car bonnet, and then they reverse, and they've got the motorbikes coming in. They get thrown away all over the place, and then there's a train sequence. Pretty good, really well directed action scene. I loved Laura X-23's movement because she's so small, and so they can use her speed and her kind of animal-like aggression. The way it's directed, I love it. It's the way the speed and her motion, very athletic and fast. So really like that. I would love to see more of her, and she's really good as a performance. Her performance is she doesn't speak for the first half of the movie, and then because I think she's a Spanish actress, a young Spanish girl. I really enjoyed her character, her performance. To see Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart in their roles as like very tired and weary, and it's kind of sad to see them that way. And it is a very sad film, very kind of almost depressing at times. The tone of it really kind of got to me. So that's something I'm unsure about. It was very heavy in tone. Kind of the end is coming, the end is coming, the end is coming. So. Okay, so let's get back to other scenes that I really like. When they get to the casino hotel, and again Pierce's men, they found the hotel room where Charles is. He starts using his powers. The whole hotel just kind of freezes because of his powers, the kind of pressure. And in the scene, there's not much happening. Well, there's very little happening, but it's so kind of intense. You've got Wolverine trying to get up. He gets to the elevator. Goes up to his floor. He's moving through the corridor very slowly because of the pressure. He sees one of the Reavers, Pierce's men, standing in the doorway with a gun, but he can't do anything because he's paralysed. And then as Wolverine gets closer to the door, gets his claws out and sticks it into his head. And that's him, and then he gets into the room, 2 other guys to take out, and then he injects Professor X with his kind of injection medicine. So really intense scene, loved that. We moved on to this farmhouse scene where things really slowed down, where this family invites our heroes to dinner, and they say stay the night as well. And you're thinking, well, this family's in danger now. So, you definitely know Logan knows it, but Professor X doesn't seem to give a shit. It's really weird. So you've got the scene now where Professor X, he's in bed, he's talking, he thinks Logan is in the room, he's just walked into the room, and he's saying how this is such a peaceful night he's had, but he doesn't deserve it because what happened, this incident happened years ago, I think. So what they hint at is Professor X may have killed the X-Men at the X Mansion. So that's really sad. That's a little layer that they add, and that kind of started playing on my mind that this is the way the X-Men went out. This is the end of the X-Men. And so he turns around, and then there's this X-24, this fucking Wolverine clone dude bro fucking beast of a man, and he just stabs him, and he takes X-23. You see he comes down the stairs, then Logan is there, and this guy X-24, he's wiped out this poor family, and that was really fucking depressing. I was like, fuck, these nice people, they fucking dead. Then you have this moment where he comes down the stairs, Logan is there, they kind of change round, and Logan's kind of paralysed, he doesn't know what to do, he's scared. So he shouts for Professor, he goes upstairs, he sees he's been stabbed, and he takes them downstairs into the back of the pickup truck, and he says like, it wasn't me, because I think for a moment, Professor X thought it was Logan who stabbed him. So that's really sad to see Professor X go out that way, because for most of the movie, he's kind of rambling, and Logan's very he comes across as someone who's just given up. He feels like there's no kind of direction to his life, and what did he fight for all these years? That this world that they're in doesn't feel like the world needs mutants anymore. You've got Professor X, who's kind of having his seizures and he's kind of rambling, but he has this kind of hope that, and he sees the hope in X-23. So to see these characters like this, and to see Professor X go out like that in this environment, in this location, and to this person, X-24's Gilden, I was like, it was really shocking, and I don't know how to kind of process it. Then you've got this fight between Wolverine and this clone. They're ripping, both of them are ripping into each other. You've got Caliban as well, this mutant played by Stephen Merchant. So he was captured by the Reavers to try and track Wolverine and everyone. And he, sacrifices himself. He blows himself up while in the back of the security van. And that's another thing. Richard E. Grant, who's not Mr. Sinister, he plays Dr. Rice, who's I think the son of Stryker, who created the Weapon X project. But it's really strange because everything that the way Richard E. Grant comes across in this movie, it's almost as if he could have been Mr. Sinister. He's, obsessed with the cloning, the mutants and their genes and their powers, and how he wants to build the perfect weapon, and he's gathering all these kids in Mexico and doing experiments on them as part of this corporation. And the Essex Corporation is not mentioned in this. Instead, it's replaced by something like Transigen or something like that. So I think they had an idea, because you saw the Essex Corp kind of teased at the end of X-Men Apocalypse, I think it was, and so I think they had plans to use that in Logan, but I think they've kind of just done away with any mention of it, so that's strange. I wanted to see more of Richard E. Grant and Boyd Holbrook's character Pierce, but and they were the main villains, but they weren't that very kind of fleshed out. Instead, we got this X-24. So they finally make their way to the border area where the other mutant kids who escaped with Laura, they're waiting on them. So they're all kind of waiting for the right moment to make their way into Canada. And so you see some of these kids with their mutant powers. I like the scene where Logan's asleep and all these kids, they've got all their scissors and they're cutting off his, trimming his beard, and I thought it was quite a funny scene. So then we come to the scene where the kids are trying to make a run for it, over the border into Canada, but then the Reavers show up, and then Logan sees that, and then he has to kind of go out and help them. So yeah, this is again an unbelievably brutal, well-directed action scene. You've got some of the kids use their powers, but I was looking at the others, and I was like, why are you not using your powers? These guys with guns are coming after you. So these the Reavers, they catch some of the kids, they kind of round them up, but Wolverine and X-23, they do their best to kind of take down the Reavers. And then you've got again another appearance from X-24, and again this is a really brutal fight, and then in the end Logan is impaled, and Laura uses the adamantium bullet that Logan was keeping for himself, but she uses it, she fires it into the head of X-24. And this was really sad because this was the end, this was the death of Logan. So obviously from a story point of view, it does make sense that Wolverine's body can't take that kind of punishment. His body can't heal that well anymore. The adamantium is poisoning him, and so all these things, it does make sense. But part of me is like, I don't want to see Wolverine go out like this. So this is, I'm kind of conflicted about the movie, because there's so much in it that's I love, but then there's parts of it where I'm thinking, that's not how I wanted to see it. So that's where the conflict comes in. And then at the end you've got Laura, she gives a little kind of speech at Logan's grave. The other kids see it, and it's time to move on. And just as they're moving, they're walking off. Laura turns. She takes there's the grave. You've got the cross, which is like that. But then she takes it and she turns it over so it's an X, and she lays it down. I thought that was the perfect way to end the movie. So I'll probably go Thursday next week, watch it a second time, but overall I really enjoyed this movie. Just parts of it where I was kind of, because it was, I think when I watch it a second time I'll be prepared for certain scenes and I can kind of focus on it a little bit more, because it definitely does its job. It's not predictable, some scenes are very shocking. So, because I wasn't seeing, I had no idea you would get something like X-24 in there. And what I like about this movie is there's no kind of references to, there's no cameos from other X-Men characters. It's very focused on Logan, Charles and Laura, and it's not weighed down by world building and what the franchise is. And so all these things, it's James Mangold done a brilliant job. He's actually mentioned, I've not read the full interview yet, but he did say that he's kind of tired of these kind of Marvel movies, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where he's unhappy with the way these movies are made, like very kind of studio production line, selling Happy Meals and toys and things like that. So he's interested. He said he's interested in coming back, making another maybe making an X-Men movie, and I would love to see it. Yeah, I like that he kept quiet until after the release of Logan, because now that the reviews have came in and people are loving it, now he comes out and says, I don't like these stupid big franchise Marvel type movies. So I like that. All the Marvel tards probably throwing a fit right now. So there was little moments in the movie, like one of Wolverine's claws, one of the 3 claws on one hand, doesn't come out properly, so he has to pull it out. All these little things, and he's got so many scars on his body. There's a moment where he wakes up in a doctor's room, and the doctor's like, I didn't know there were any mutants left. I can't believe this. And you see Wolverine's kind of ribs, well, not ribs, but kind of stomach area, and it's all ripped open. But he still gets up, just puts his shirt on. Early on in the movie, the kind of brutally honest swearing between Logan and Charles, and just the kind of their relationship, that was quite funny. And you had Logan with his reading glasses, and he's got his iPhone, and the way he looks at it looks like a granddad. So all these kind of little things I really loved. So going forward, where do we go from here? Where does the X-Men franchise go? Obviously you've got Deadpool, you've got X-Force, New Mutants, this new X-Men movie that's filming in the summer, Supernova I think it's called. That's what I love about the X-Men movies and the 20th Century Fox. They'll make the best movie that they can. If it doesn't fit in with the timeline, it's not that big of a problem. As fans, we just want to see a good movie. Unlike Marvel, who's kind of restricting themselves, well, this can't happen and that can't happen, and the tone of this movie has to be the same as this one, so we can't really take any risks with tone and visuals and all this kind of nonsense. So that's what I like about the X-Men franchise. There's kind of, you can see it's not consistent, but at the same time there's more kind of creativity, there's more risk in there, there's more variety in there. So I would give Logan a 4 out of 5. I want to watch it one more time, and it might go down, it might go up, I'm not sure, but at the moment it's definitely a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, even though there's parts of the movie that's kind of shocking, and I'm not sure if it's a good kind of shocking or a bad kind of shocking, so I want to watch it again. But it's certainly bold, and it was kind of unpredictable for myself, and didn't go with what people's expectations would be with, you know, how would Charles die, how would Logan die. They kind of flipped it on its head in a way. So yeah, 4 out of 5. Let me know what you guys thought of the movie in the comments below. What did you think about X-24 and how he was introduced, the look of him, the way he was used in the movie? What did you think about the whole kind of Richard E. Grant, Mr. Sinister, the bad guys? Did you think they could have been a bit more fleshed out, could have been a bit better? What did you think about the middle of the movie, how it slowed down and this poor family just got slaughtered? What did you think about that? So yeah, let me know what you thought about the movie. Click like, share, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and until next time guys, I'll catch you later.